Please, before I stand on all existing protocol, can I be given permission to share my screen? I don't know.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I have it. I have it now. Thank you.
You have it. Great.
Yes, I see. I have the permission. So 1 second, but let me just quickly say thank you to Mrs. Angela Ajala for having me here and the entire team. It's been a great time so far. I've listened to Ms. Aderugba and of course, Coach Sam. We go a long way and such a great pleasure to be here today. I am so honored, and what I'm about to share with you is so dear to my heart. Like, this is my journey, this is my story, and I'm just trying to clear up everything here to make sure that in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to run through the slides very quickly. Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. So please let me know. I love to have interactive sessions. Can you see my slide? Let's see.
Yes, we can.
You see it? Fantastic.
Yes, we do.
So I love interactive sessions. So let me know where you are in the world. Just go right ahead, and where you are in Nigeria. Tell me in the comments, and we're going straight into it. And in the time that we have, I'm going to be speaking on telling your story for impact as a woman-owned business. And I want you to see the key word there. It's impact. It's not just telling your story, but how can you make an impact, for your business and in the lives of others. So again, I'm going to be having you drop a lot of things in the chat, so keep it coming. I'm wondering why I can't see it. Trying to see. Oh, I'm not able to see the chats, but just keep chatting. When I'm done, I'm going to go in there and check all those who were responding. So according to Seth Godin, marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make. It's about the stories that you tell. So it's not just enough now to say, oh, I've got the greatest product. I mean, after sliced bread, my product is the best in the market. And you stop because you created a product. What is important is how you tell the story. And Coach Sam said it so powerfully well. I mean, with that answer he was given to the question about having a security company. So is it about just the people at the gate, or is it about the confidence? Is it about the fact that with your company, people can go to sleep and not worry about, things getting lost in their places of work? It's a different ballgame entirely. And this ties in nicely with how you are telling your story. And he said it again, nobody is going to do this for you. And so let's just make it clear. Nobody is going to tell your story for you the way you would tell it. And so I want us to just take note of that even as we go deeper. Now, storytelling gives you the unique opportunity to tell your customers why you do what you do. It's a powerful opportunity to say, this is why I do what I do. So I'm not just a security company. And usually there's a story. Everybody's in business with a story. The only difference is some people have identified their stories and some haven't. Some people are able to run with their stories. Like, I literally built the 2 global businesses I'm operating right now. I built them through telling my stories. I don't know who picked my topic, but when I saw it, it was so comforting because it was home for me. I didn't need to go too far. I just need to show you what I've done. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story just towards the end of my presentation. And so this why is what your customers are investing in. Let's face it, there are 1,000,001 companies out there that are offering what you're doing. What makes you different? This is where your story comes in. Why are you doing this business? Why are you offering this product? Why are you offering this service? What is your story? What inspired you to go into business? It forms the very heart of your brand stories. It forms the very, very heart of it when you are able to communicate effectively with your customers. So let's look at this. By harnessing the art of storytelling for business, you can share your passion with your audience and foster true, meaningful connections. Why is this important? Because people will do business with you when they know you, when they like you, and when they trust you. KLT, and we know this: know me, like me, trust me. One of the fastest ways for you to get people to know you, like you, and trust you is for you to tell them your stories. And a lot of times we feel like nobody's going to care about that. Guess again. In this new normal, this is one way that you can stand out. So for instance, you will never see a good shoe advertisement where they're talking about the functional specifications of a shoe, where they're telling you the heel is 6 inches, it's 9 inches, it's 3 inches. No, it's about how classy you will be when you walk into a room and all eyes are on your feet. Then you're buying the shoe. You're not buying the shoe because they said it's, 6 inches or 9. It's not about the inches. It's about the fact that that shoe will allow you make a statement when you appear at the event. And this should be your goal as a business owner. It's not just about, this is my product, come and buy. It is, what is it about your product? What is the story about your product that will change my life? What is it about me buying your shea butter? What will it do for my skin? What have you gone? What lengths have you gone? I mean, how is this packaged and produced with love? And the elements of storytelling, it's not complicated. And I'm going to show you, it's not complicated. It's very simple. Because the truth is, we're all storytellers. Every day you're telling stories. But now I'm telling you, you have to be intentional about telling your business story. Okay, if we're together, please let me know in the comments that you are with me. Because if your competition, if they wrap everything they do in a compelling story, while you stick to the information, sweetheart, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. If you continue to sell your products and it's all about just the information of the products. Okay, so I'm selling this, shea butter, and the shea butter is good. The shea butter will you can buy it in 50 gram and 100 gram. If that is the information you're telling us, and you're not telling us the story about what even inspired you to go into the business, and how, the process that goes into the creation. And you can do this so easily. Every day there is a story, even the painful stories. The truth is, people don't understand that in building meaningful connections, people even want to know the struggle. Because a lot of times we think we just want to put the good stories out there. No, including the stories of loss, even the stories of frustration, even the stories of how hard it is sometimes to do business. Everything we want to know. Take us on that journey. Take us on that journey. We recently opened up our Black Friday sales, and I remember just being in this place where I can swear, I literally heard God say to me, there's a story you're not telling your community. And that is the story of how 20% of whatever payment comes into the company goes back to service for humanity. Very powerful thing we've been doing since the COVID, and it was in my profile. As a matter of fact, we calculated, we started Hajara's Purse with 500 Naira. And in the last 7 months, we have given back to the community over 27,000 US dollars. We have done everything from paying for surgeries, feeding the hungry, paying hospital bills, just name it. The list is endless. But you see, it wasn't a story we were telling all the time, because even for me, this is something I have to be conscious about. And it was phenomenal for people to see the difference that they were making, that every time they buy a product from us, 20% goes back into Hajara's Purse that allows us to make a difference in the community. I'm telling you, there are people right now who will not even joke about doing business with us because they now know the story about Hajara's Purse. But imagine if I felt, let me not talk about it. Let it not look like we're bragging. No, sometimes you need to toot your horn. And I need you to put that in the comments. Toot my horn. I need to toot my horn. It's not a place of pride. It's letting people know this is what we are doing. This is the good we're doing in the world. And people need to just recognize it. So I want you to put that in the comment, because You are the one who is in the best position to do this. Now, let me show you how powerful your story can be. Let me show you on this screen right now are 4 different flyers. Last year, 2019 was so powerful for me because I have a story. At the age of 22, 20 years ago, I ran away from home. And by the age of 31, I had become a single mom with 2 children and a victim of domestic abuse. And you might wonder, what does this have to do with a business class? Well, guess what? You see, that story I just told you has literally taken me around the world. In the last 3 years, I've spoken on 4 continents. I started live streaming in 2015 as a stay-at-home mom. I didn't know anything about social media. I didn't even like social media. I had Facebook because they said Facebook, but I discovered an app. I mean, right now with the new normal, you can't even afford to not have your business online. And you can't even afford to be online and not tell us your story. Because I want you to understand this, your story is your gift. Your story is what sets you apart from competition. I teach a lot around brand visibility, using videos, but believe me, there are 1,000,001 people who are doing that. But guess what? There is nobody who is like me. And I understand that because I have unique stories, and I'm not afraid and I'm not ashamed to share my stories. On the board right now, you see this was me in Kano, this was me in Boston, this was me in Providence, Rhode Island, this was me in Dubai in 1 year. My story, mastering the art of storytelling for my business, took me to all of these stages. And so I have actually 3 benefits, because it's not even just about telling your business and, just growing the profit margins. You can reach a wider audience, not just local, but global. You can attract media attention for free. I can't even tell you how many times I get called upon to be featured just because someone caught my story. You can get booked to speak on stages around the world. And as a business owner, if you don't understand what speaking can do for you, you need to know that you're leaving a lot of money on the table. I love when Coach Sam was analyzing about, the numbers. The numbers. One thing that speaking on a stage will do for you, apart from exposing you to an audience that may never have heard about you, it exposes more people to the business that you do. Because you can't go and speak and people not want to know, so what do you do and how can you serve me? So these are just more benefits. I mean, time can only allow this. But you're saying, okay, Naomi, this looks interesting, but how do I actually do this? Start with why. Why is the story being told? So why do you want to tell the story? You must start with why. When and where is the story taking place? These are elements that you must put into your story, even as you share it in your business. Who are the people in the story? Who are the people in the story? Because sometimes your story might not be about you. Your story might be about your clients. It might be testimonials. I mean, some of you have amazing things that you've done, amazing things that your products have done in the lives of people, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. And you're saying, I don't want to say anything. Who kept you in that box? Who kept you in that box? Tell the stories. You got selected for a scholarship program. Tell the story. It is building your credibility. Your clients had a big win because they used your products. Tell the story. Who are the people in the story? All right. And after that, I want you to look at what are the people trying to achieve? What challenges were faced? And so for service providers, so I'm a certified life coach. I share a lot of stories about before and after, the challenges my clients were facing, and then when they came to work with me, where they are now. And what success did they experience? These are just 6 elements you can begin to put into your story. All right. But moving on, business storytelling takes practice. You must know your story inside and out before presenting it to customers. Why? Because you want to be consistent. You don't want to tell us a story today and we hear it in another 6 months and there's some things that are not they're not aligning. You want to be careful. You want to know your story. I shared how in the last 3 years, I've spoken on 4 continents. I get to watch a lot of my talks and I see that it's the same thing because I never had to make anything up. And so you must be authentic. In the whole process of trying to tell stories, this is not about you going overboard. This is not about you adding some salt and pepper and spices. Please tell it as it is. Be authentic so that your story will be consistent. Every time people listen to you, they hear the same thing. Could be different variations, but your story is consistent. All right. Have a clear outcome. Have a clear outcome. And so you want to say, why is my story being told? What do I want people to go away with? Make your stories memorable. Make your stories shareable. And what will be the impact of your story on your audience? You must ask yourself, do I want to use this story to build credibility? Do I want to use this story as social proof? Do I want to use this story to gain more customers? You must have an intent for telling your story. And so when I teach content creation, when I teach storytelling for business, there must be a plan. There must be a plan. It's not just, okay, we've heard about telling stories. Let's get out there and let's tell stories. Why are you telling the stories? And what are the impact you expect the story to have on your audience? The truth is, you can master the art of storytelling, but you really must be intentional about telling it consistently. When I work with my private clients, one of the first things I ask them to do is open up what we call the book of stories. And I tell them, your book of stories is going to come in handy. Anytime you're invited to speak, any day you want to teach a topic, sometimes all you need to do is go to your book of stories and identify the story that is relevant to the audience, relevant to the people you're about to speak to, and then share it. Again, it's about building the know, like, and trust factor. Truth is, you got this. You can do this. It's going to take practice. It is an art, but it can be mastered. It is not for a select few. It is not for people who like to talk. As long as you're here, you are a storyteller. You may need to work on improving in telling it in the area of your business, but I want to assure you that you can do it. And if you believe that, I want you to put that in the comments. I can do it. And I'm just going to end with my quick story because 5 years ago, I started on Periscope. I shared that already. Periscope was an app, it's an app that came up before Facebook Live and Instagram Live. It was really new. When I would go live, people would tell me, so this is the world map. And if you go on Periscope, you can see the world map. And people would come on and tell me, you are the only one who is live on the entire African continent, because they could see the red dot. So on Periscope, the red dot are people who are live and the blue dot is a replay. When I started, you could only see a red dot in the entire African continent. So I was an early adopter, but then I was willing to learn. I was willing to invest in growth. Sometimes for you to scale into the next level of your business growth, you must be willing to learn from those who've gone ahead of you. And so I started learning and I started this journey. But guess what? This is where it gets interesting. Within 6 months of showing up consistently, I wrote my first book. It's an ebook and it's called Socially Speaking, My Periscope Miracles. What did I do? I shared a story of how I was using Periscope to change the world from the continent of Africa. It became an Amazon bestseller. And then my channel trended on Periscope within 6 months. And what was I doing? I was telling stories. Because when I came on Periscope, I didn't even think it was going to be a business. So I would just go, I would turn on my phone, I would go live, I'll be going around Abuja, and I'll be like, this is Africa, this is Nigeria, this is Abuja. I was just telling stories. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, I did not know this was going to be a business. And so my channel trended and people just came for me. The Guardian came and they featured me. I remember getting the message. Remember, I told you can attract media attention for free. The Guardian reached out to me on Facebook. I was like, I'm not in Lagos. They said, don't worry, send us your pictures. We're going to email you the questions and send us the reply. And that was how I became a Guardian girl. And you can see the caption, from stay-at-home mom to international best-selling author. I was telling my story, but I'm not done. Today, I again have had the privilege of receiving 4 international awards. This was me in India last year. Guess what? The person who invited me to come here heard me telling my story on Instagram Live. Instagram Live. This was me on top at the 700 Club. This interview was 3 years ago, but I was talking about the use of digital media to promote your business. Till today, people still call me, oh, we saw you on channels, we saw you on AIT, we saw you on Dove. And I just told my story. This was me in India at the Taj Mahal, one of the 7 wonders of the world. It will shock you, the stages that will open up for you around the world. Because I have a famous quote, why be local when you can be global? You need to understand that if COVID has shown us anything, is the fact that we're even more connected than we think. Right now with Zoom and all sorts of virtual stages, people can connect with the world. And so as a business owner, if you're not thinking of how your products can serve a global community, then it's time to raise the bar. And I'm hoping that from this conference, you will decide to be on that scale. Again, this was legit.ng. I spoke on TEDx Providence last year. I was the only African who flew to the US to speak on that stage. Guess the story I went to tell. The same story I told you at the beginning, that at the age of 22, I ran away from home. Now, I have mastered the art of storytelling, that when you hear me tell my stories, even the most painful story, you are so inspired that you're like, oh my goodness, Naomi, how did that happen? Well, legit.ng, they heard. Nobody till today reached out to me. They picked up my story. I saw this. I was on Google and I saw this. Naomi Osemedua. I swear, I freaked out. I was like, what? What did I do? And I saw only African to speak at the 8th TEDx Providence 2019 in USA. Today, this talk is on the TED Global stage. It's my story I'm telling. It's my story I'm telling. Again, I could not have imagined this. Storytelling took me to be the cover girl on Vanguard Allure, took me to be the cover girl on Vanguard Arcade. All these things, they just come. Naomi, can we feature you? What would it do for your business? For you to get free publicity? Can you tell me in the comments? What will it do for your business? You're not the one looking for them. They're the ones coming to say, can we talk about you? Can we promote the work you're doing? It's because I'm telling the story. And so every time, trust me, these guys are looking for good stories. You haven't told us why you got into business. You haven't told us how you started with 5 naira, 100 naira, and today you've built a multi-million naira company. You haven't told us. And so you're probably wondering, how are all these people getting featured? These people are getting featured because they're talking. My mom used to say, closed mouth is a closed destiny. It's time to begin to talk and share your stories. All right. And finally, this was me on the stage. This was a defining moment. I came all the way from Africa to speak on this platform. This talk has made me thousands of dollars. When people search for me, they watch this talk, they come to me and they say they want to work with me. So this has become my marketing tool. As a storyteller, especially for my premium coaching, people come and say, do you do premium coaching? I'm like, yes, that's exclusive one-on-one coaching. I don't sell the service. There is no landing page. My stories on different platforms sells that package for me. There was a Facebook Live, someone invited me to speak about visibility. Immediately I finished, someone reached out to me and said, how can I work with you? She was in England. And I said, send me a message. She had never heard about me up until that day. Just like today, she was watching me for the first time. She said she went on YouTube. She watched my TED Talk, and then she watched another interview with Adesuwa Oyenokwe, and she said, this is the woman I want. By the next day, she paid me £4,000. 4,000 pounds, a total stranger, 2.2 million naira, 4,000 pounds, a total stranger. In case you're wondering, what is all the force? What is all the energy that Naomi is using to talk about storytelling? It has changed my life. All right. And so let me end with this. I started on Periscope, but on the 5th anniversary, October 2020, we had our advert on the Times Square billboard in New York. I'm still a stay-at-home mom. This is my home office. This is where I operate from. But from telling my story right here on the left-hand side, 5 years ago, stay-at-home mom, I was just intrigued and fascinated but I kept taking people on that journey. And so one of the beautiful things about my brand is the fact that I have continued to take people on the journey. And so 5 years later, we are on the billboards at Times Square, New York. Again, I am still a stay-at-home mom, serving clients in over 20 countries around the world, leveraging digital platforms. So you have no excuse. And I need you to know that a lot of things will be said here today. But if you take it and you do not implement anything from what all the wonderful speakers have shared, then you are really just, I mean no insults, I mean no disrespect, but it is delusional to think that you would hear all this great stuff and do nothing about it. And so I'm charging you to take the notes, but beyond taking the notes, I want you to get out there and I want you to begin to tell your stories. I want you to begin to implement, because the world is your stage. And so one way that I can serve you today, I am live on Instagram at Naomi Osemedua, and I have a free gift for everyone. Please don't ignore my gifts, because I love you, because I want to help you. I want you to just go to Instagram at Naomi Osemedua and just say AWEP 2020. That's all. Don't even say hello. Don't say hi, Naomi. Just say AWEP 2020, and I'm going to be there to answer you. So this is what you're looking out for. So that's it at Naomi Osemedua. And DM is just for you to click this icon message and say AWEP 2020. So that's my virtual office today. I'm going to be right there all day today responding to you. And so let me end with this. If you are not there top of mind when your prospects are ready to buy, I want you to know that your competitors will be. And the only way for you to stand out consistently is for you to tell your stories. Your stories are your gifts. I want you to own it. 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 And of course, I offer exclusive personalized coaching sessions to help you find and harness your stories. Because some people come and say, Naomi, I hear you, but I don't have a story. That's not true. You have stories. You just don't have someone who has helped you harness them. And that's what I do best. So I do have a few slots open, very, very minimum. So kindly send me an email if you are open to exclusive one-on-one services. I will be able to get on the phone with you to tell you how I can help you. Thank you so much. I will see you at the center stage. Thank you. Thank you.